Tony Pike joining us here on TPL Live. Good morning to you. Where are you, Tony?
Morning, Aidan. We just got back from the track and just about to have a shower and head down to the coast.
Okay, yeah. So, you're in Australia, ready for today's meeting now?
Yeah, no, I came over late last night, flew over with Leaf on the last flight out of Auckland last night, and just went and saw how the horses settled in after their flight yesterday. And yeah, we just got back from the track and probably head off in about an hour down to the Gold Coast.
Okay, we'll get on to Australia shortly, but we'll kick off with your Te Rapa runners, Tony, because you've got key runners domestically as well. We'll begin in the third of the program, and this one is the BG Pay. Thanks for the support, 1200. And Merlini here at 7 and 2:30, Vinnie Colgan to do the riding. Just give us a little bit of a line on how he's going. He just seems to be a horse who's won 3 or 14, but he's showing he's got all this ability. He sometimes doesn't put it together. How's he doing?
Yeah, no, he's not a straightforward horse, Aidan. He still does quite a bit wrong in his races, but to be fair, he'd had a little bit of a freshen up heading into his last start, and he led clearly, and then was taken on pretty much from the half mile until halfway down the straight. That horse dropped out and ran tailed off, and he's fought on reasonably well for so he was a lot fitter for that. Looks at a lot of pace in this race today. Obviously, he is an own leader. We'll just use his early speed and then leave it up to Vinny to assess it from there. But look, on his best day, he's a talented horse, and wouldn't surprise me to see him winning in what's a small but reasonably strong field today.
Yeah, exactly. So that does make it a little bit different with that extra speed in the race, isn't it? So could it be possible that he takes a sit, or is there a horse who doesn't really enjoy that?
Look, he's won it. I think he took a sit at Wellington one day and won. So, look, he can do. Obviously, he's got such brilliant gate speed and natural speed that he'll probably land in front for the first furlong of the race anyway. And then it's going to be up to Vinny if he thinks they're just going a little bit too quick or whether he holds the front.
Okay, that intent is really interesting, and it's going to be really interesting in our feature as well. That's the listed Waikato Equine Veterinary Centre Stakes. And Whiskey Neats, obviously, he's a class horse of the race, but how he sort of fits into this race is interesting. Will he lead? That's the most important question for me, I think.
Look, he's just such a brilliant horse with a massive action on him. He'll go forward for sure. And again, look, at least Mickey's now had a ride on him at Te Piko Trials. He trialled up well. I do think he's almost a little bit better left-handed. He probably showed that in his first start at ATAC. He just tends to get a little bit lost off the ride or right-handed. So I think the left-handed way of going is going to be a real advantage to him. So look, if he leads, that's fine, but that's going to be completely up to Mickey, obviously depending on the tempo of the race. But he's got such a high cruising speed, I'd be surprised if many of those 2-year-olds can probably match that cruising speed with him, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I think what you're saying about left-handed, right-handed might have been borne out a little bit in that trial, because he just had his head to the side a little bit as he came down the straight at Te Teko, didn't he? But what did you make of what he showed you at Te Teko?
Yeah, look, I was wrapped. Obviously, he needed that hit out. He had a nice blow afterwards, and that'll tied him up nicely for this weekend. Look, I was very happy with his trial. He did take a sit outside the leader and relax nicely. And look, Mickey didn't have to do a lot on him, to be fair. The track was probably testing enough that day, and he just dashed into the line, but he did it and did it very comfortably. So he'll strip a lot fitter today, and that should just have him spot on for today's race. So look, from a reasonable gate, he should be a big chance.
Okay, we're just having a look at that trial, Tony, but just tell me the one miss that he's had in the Karaka Million, what happened that day?
It probably just came to the end of his preparation, I think, Aidan. Although he's been brilliant in his first start and won the Eclipse Stakes, if you look at the horse physically, he's probably not a natural 2-year-old type. He's quite a big, scopy horse, and probably going to the Karaka Million. He did miss the kick that day, which probably wasn't ideal. He's normally a lot more brilliant from the gates, and probably in hindsight, I probably knew that heading into the race. He was still working well, but he was sleeping a lot and probably just starting to go through a bit of a growing stage. So I think mainly it was just to do with the horse coming towards the end of his preparation, and he's obviously had a nice break trial well coming back today, and look, ideally he wins well today, and then we can decide whether he goes to Brisbane, but I'm also leaning to giving him a slalom back for the 3-year-old series.
If you did decide against that break, what would you look at? Is it QTC size and maybe a look at the JJ Atkins, or what would it be if you do decide against the break?
Look, probably the size produce would be his race, 1,400 metres round Toowoomba. Look, whether he'd stretch to a mile at this point in his preparation, a little bit unsure. So, look, just want to really get through today and see how he performs and how he pulls up, and then we'll make some decisions going forward from there.
Okay, well, best of luck with the mini here, Tony. You've already got a team, as you said, in Queensland at the moment. We did have, I think, a few of those horses heading over on Friday. First and foremost, how have they travelled and arrived in Queensland?
But really pleased. The plane was on time, so I think it was about a 9.5-hour trip door to door. So really not a lot longer than probably a trip from the Waikato to Trenton for the races, and obviously a lot easier, standing still on the plane than winding your way down to Wellington on a float. So, wrapped with the way they travelled. They've all eaten up overnight and seem nice and bright this morning. So, haven't really taken any harm from it. I haven't run horses off the plane, obviously the day after in Queensland before, but just due to programming and the plane schedules, we sort of had to do it today. So a lot was banking on the plane being on time and on schedule, which it was. So really happy with them both today, and it's going to be an interesting day. There's been a bit of rain down at the coast, so they're calling it a heavy 8, and a few more showers forecast today. So it's obviously going to probably play into Indecision's hands, and Intrigue does handle a bit of cut in the ground, and she's obviously extremely fit as well. So it'll be an interesting day's racing.
Yeah, exactly. Intrigue goes around in that Gold Coast bracelet, and geez, her form's been good, isn't it? She's really created an impression with those 2 wins, leading to that last start second in the Championship Stakes. And you took it to Te Rapa as well and gave her an exhibition gallop. That was a rain-affected track that day. What did you make of what she did?
Yeah, I was wrapped in her exhibition gallop. She obviously worked with Terra Sancta, who, she's a good mare in her own right, and worked extremely well. She's a very fit 3-year-old, holding her condition well, and she just seems to be improving with each run. So obviously stepped up to Group 2 company, and midly beaten quite comfortably by Lord Arthur, but they ran along pretty hard that day, and then split that back to third. So the form suggests she should be competitive with a 3-year-old staying fully here in Queensland, and she looks fantastic this morning. So I'll be disappointed if she doesn't run a big race.
Of course, those Mark Wyborn colours that you've had success in Queensland with Provocative. How do you shape what her preparation is over there? What's in store for her?
Look, obviously it'd be nice if she can probably run first or second today, because that gives us some options with prize money. That's probably going to guarantee her a start in the Queensland Oaks. Then we can obviously see how she pulls up and pick and choose where we head to from there, whether it's the Roses into the Oaks or even maybe a par through one of the Colts races. So just want to get through today, and hopefully she performs well and put some money in the bank, which guarantees the Oaks start, and then it's obviously going to make our job a lot easier heading down that path.
We've got Stephen Hunt standing by, and he's just wanting to know whether he should be shortening the horse up for the Derby more than the Oaks or the other way around. What's your suggestion?
Look, obviously this was a big query over Provocative when she was in the Oaks, and they actually intentionally that she was going to run in the Oaks and back up in the Derby, but the Oaks meeting and Stradbroke meeting got washed out that year, and they were both on the same day, so that sort of stopped our decision. So look, if she won and won well today, I'd say she'll definitely get to the Oaks, and there's even a possibility she could back up in the Derby a week later.
Okay, that's good. And if not, we'll just let the stable money do the talking, and Stephen can find out when his bells start ringing, I guess. So, also, Indecision, what about her today? What are you thinking?
Look, she trialled up brilliantly at RTR meeting, albeit obviously wasn't a strong barrier trial field, but she ran good time and did it very comfortably with a heavyweight jockey on that day as well. So pretty confident she could run a nice race today. She'll obviously love the rain-affected track conditions. Her exhibition gallop at Te Rapa last Saturday was outstanding. So it's always hard bringing sprinters to Australia, but against your own age group, it'd be fantastic if she could gain some Australian black type for Trelawney Stud and Co. Before she heads to the Broodmare paddock in the spring.
Yeah, so that's Indecision on the outside in this exhibition gallop. Who's the horse on the inside again that you had at the same time?
Everloyal.
Yeah, it was Everloyal. So obviously you've got Everloyal, you've got Endless Drama, others as well over there. So what's coming up in the next few weeks for the team?
Look, obviously next Saturday is the June 10,000 meeting. Bostonian's nominated for that race. Obviously Nature's Strip and Osborne Bulls probably running that race, and obviously they're extremely hard to beat. Probably not saying you could win that race over 1,200 metres, but we might use that as a lead into possibly a Stradbroke. It's probably going to come up a relatively small field because of those, but a lot of that will be dependent on how he works on Tuesday, whether he runs in the 10,000 or waits a week to the big RC sprint. But Terra Sancta will kick off next weekend in the members handicap. over a mile, and then we'll have quite a few runners on the 18th.